Hello traders, and welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to be taking a look at the currency market and seeing what's going on in terms of technical analysis and potential trade setups that I see here based on my own opinions and analysis. Please note this is not any sort of investment advice. I'm just sharing my own personal opinions, and you should make your own decisions in the market, as that is what ultimately will be the only thing that makes you a consistently profitable trader, is self-reliance. So today we're going to take a look at some charts. I've got a couple of my favorite ones to look at here, starting with Euro USD. Euro dollar actually finding some sort of a topping out here. We're starting to see some rollover as price gets a bit stretched up to this point. We didn't quite make it up to that 1.1434 level, but we did find some sort of rejection here at current levels, which is right around the, we'll say, 1.3812 level. So we'll see if that can hold. For the time being, it looks pretty solid. Looks like we could see a retracement, and I'd say it's very possible that price would like to retest that 1.1142 level. So we will see if that can play out. In the meantime, that's what I'm looking for. I think we probably have some short-term bearishness that could come into this market and pull us back down to a level of a significant retest. Next up is going to be GBPUSD, which continues to kind of trade in this range here, but we are seeing price have an impressive little rally off of the lows, right? We've held, and now as we get up to this point, it looks like we could find seller rejection. At least my opinion would be downside from here if we get up to that point. And this is the dominant trend, so it's very possible we could see something like this nature going forward on GBP USD, just my opinion. So looking for a little bit more of a sell-off or a little bit rise, and then looking for the sell-off overall. Next up is USDJPY, which is catching a pullback here, or pulling back right now after catching a nice run last week. Big thing here to watch for is if you're looking on the 1 hour chart, you'll see we've got a 1 hour chart of support. This will be interesting to see if price wants to keep coming down, if we're going to hold that level and rally, or if we're going to break and go lower. We will see. My first opinion here would be to see the rally continue, just because dollar yen has been very, very bullish. We've got a nice bullish trend, and I think that the direction overall is still up. Buyers may just be looking for an area to retest or re-enter. We've also got this trend line here. One more thing to look for is this, which kind of lines up nicely, gives us kind of this sweet spot zone where we could look for buying opportunities. That's just something that I'll be looking for personally on USDJPY. Next up is gold. Gold continuing to range. Not too much to say here, right? We've got support down here. We've got resistance up here in a range-bound market, and watching to see if price can hold. So far, we are holding these lows very nicely. And to me, the big thing here would be, I think if we see some signs on the lower time frames, we could look for a move back up to previous highs, even if price decides to continue to stay in this range-bound market. Unless we see a significant drop underneath, my probability would say, it's going to continue to range back and forth here on XAU USD. Next up is going to be US oil. Now, US oil is actually filling the gap here. So we had this big gap left open, and what you'll notice is that price is filling it. And it looks to me as if price wants to get all the way up to that 61.8. I would say there's a pretty good chance we see price make it up to that point. And if we do, the overall bias for me here would be sell side action, right? We've got the overall downtrend. We've got some serious fundamental issues with oil, and we are catching a strong bounce. It could continue to recover, but I would say that there's a pretty good chance here that if price gets up to this 61.8, I'd say I'm interested in looking to take some sells and to look to find some sort of sell side action there in the overall direction of the dominant trend, which has been to the downside here on oil. You can see just a long-term downtrend, except let's see, I'm actually not sure about this. Let's take a look at the 200 period moving average. Put that on the chart, and you can see there it is. So we're not quite there just yet, but if price gets up to that point, it's very possible that we could get kind of a confluence of the 61.8 and the 200 period moving average, which to me gives me a decent risk reward looking for that downtrend continuation. Finally, we have dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss still acting choppy, but I wanted to also point out kind of this downtrend overall structure that we've got. And if price were to decide to get up to a point like this would be an interesting sell side for me. Of course, the counterpoint being that if it were to break out strongly, then that would be interesting to watch too. Really going to come down to what the US dollar does this week, if we get bullish or bearish, or what kind of news comes out. But those are a couple of trade ideas that I have for the week. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time.